Hello and welcome. I'm Megan Cook, one of WACAP's adoption program supervisors, and I love what I do. I hope this brief webinar helps you learn more about adopting from Bulgaria. There are so many choices and questions in adoption, and we hope to help you as you gather information and consider the path that is right for your family. So in this webinar, we'll be talking about the children we serve, adoptive family eligibility requirements, matching a child in need with your family, the steps in the adoption process and general timeframes, and various ways to contact us to gather more information. WACAP offers personalized support to families considering adoption, and we welcome your questions anytime. So first, let's discuss the types of children in Bulgaria who need adoption. In Bulgaria, adoption has been growing in acceptance domestically over the past years, and in general, this means the youngest, healthiest children are being adopted by Bulgarian families. While this is a wonderful trend, there are still so many children who are not being adopted in country, and typically, therefore, the children who wait for international adoption have some form of individual need or are considered healthy, but are in age 9 and older. So younger children available for international adoption typically have medical or developmental conditions. And recently we've been seeing families accepting matches of children with needs like diabetes, speech and language delays, and Down syndrome. There are many, many older children who also wait to be adopted, and many of these kids are considered healthy, but some will have a history of abuse, neglect, and in some cases, birth family members with mental health challenges. There are also so many children who are part of sibling groups that need to be adopted together. Many of the children in need of adoption in Bulgaria are of Roma ethnicity and tend to be darker complexion. Children come into orphanage care for various reasons. So as mentioned on the earlier slide, many of the children in need of adoption in Bulgaria are ethnically Roma. As with many European countries, the Roma can sometimes live on the fringe of society, and poverty and the lack of education, work, and medical care certainly contributes to unstable family circumstances. The majority of children being adopted from Bulgaria do have known birth family. These families are typically experiencing crisis that disrupts their ability to care appropriately for their child. And occasionally, children may be found abandoned, but it's not very common. In other cases, Bulgarian Protective Services may be removing a child from their birth family due to neglect or abuse. And also, they may occasionally find children who've been living on the streets. Typically, in those cases, birth parents are eventually located, but may be deemed unsafe to parent the child. Most of the older children in need of adoption have spent many of their younger years with their birth family. So now let's talk about the matching process. There are two primary ways that this happens in Bulgaria. So firstly, you can either identify a waiting child who is ready to be adopted, or you can complete a list of conditions that you're open to considering and wait to be matched with a child then would be matched with your family. So some of the waiting kids in Bulgaria are featured on WACAP's waiting child portal found on our website, wacap.org. Please note that kids featured here are typically those who are older, need a little extra advocacy, may have individual needs that are more involved. There are a wide variety of kids in need of adoption, and we welcome you to call us anytime to learn about available children. The Bulgarian adoption process allows for you to place a waiting child on hold while you complete your home study and other documentation for the adoption. And that can certainly be a draw for families who are interested in learning about a child and then starting the process. We know that some families are concerned about a financial barrier to adoption, and we are pleased to let you know that WACAP offers promise grants to help defer the adoption costs for some identified kids. So please feel free to ask us for more information about these grants and resources. And WACAP also provides access to a program called Your Adoption Finance Coach, a free service to help families plan and access support in preparing for adoption costs. So here are general eligibility requirements for families who wish to adopt from Bulgaria. If you have questions about your family's eligibility, though, please don't hesitate to call or email us. you can speak with an information specialist or Bulgarian team staff who can answer your questions. So generally, we're seeing both married couples and single parents, men and women, who are welcome to adopt. There's a preferred maximum age difference of 48 years between the youngest parent and the child to be adopted, and then a 55-year age limit. Applicants with a significant history, arrest history, or medical conditions will be considered on a case-by-case basis. So again, just in general, we welcome families to call and talk to us about their specific family, and we can let you know our thoughts about your eligibility and other potential options you may have. So the adoption process can seem so overwhelming, but it's much easier if you break it down into steps. So right now, you're in the inquiry and apply stage. We're here to help answer your questions and help you get ready for the journey ahead. As we move forward here, there's training in the home study. So the home study process helps us actually approve you to adopt. Most of the time, this takes about 3 to 4 months to complete and includes training and other support as you prepare for your adoption. If you live in a state where WACAP is licensed, we can actually provide the service for your family. Otherwise, we can give you a list of other home study agencies that are more local to you. Then after your home study is completed, you'll be welcomed into WACAP's Bulgaria program. As we move on to considering a referral and match, your wait time to be matched with a child starts when your documents are sent to Bulgaria and registered with the Ministry of Justice. The match of a waiting child happens typically right away within, say 1 to 2 months. For families who are waiting for a match of a child up to, say, a younger child up to age 6 or so with individual needs, will often wait about 1 to 3 years. And a child age 7 and older will often, your wait for the formal match will often be about 1 to 2 years. All wait times are estimates, of course. And once you've received information about a child, you'll have some time to consider the information and review the file with a doctor. We'll provide you with support to be able to ask questions and gain information you need to make a good decision about the match. So moving on to the legal steps and travel, at least one parent needs to be prepared to travel to Bulgaria 2 times. This happens 4 to 6 weeks after you've tentatively accepted the match of a child, and the trip lasts approximately 1 week. During this time, you'll actually be able to meet the child and confirm your acceptance. Once a match has become more formal, the next steps involve the actual legal adoption processing in Bulgaria and filing necessary U.S. immigration paperwork. This takes about 3 to 6 months. And the second trip happens after the Bulgarian courts have finalized the adoption and have invited you to Bulgaria to complete the remaining steps of the adoption. And this trip will usually last for about 10 days. So home and post-placement. Finally, you'll be home with your child and entering into the post-placement phase of your adoption. This is a time where your social worker will visit and provide you with support during your family's transition. WACAP believes in offering long-term support to families and resources as well, and hopes to be helpful to your family before, during, and after your child joins your family. The time frames talked about here again are averages and estimates, and families' individual experience can differ significantly from what we've discussed. At WACAP, though, we're super mindful of keeping families informed at each step of their adoption process so you really know how your case is progressing. Again, we know you likely have so many questions and there's a lot to think about. So here's a few ways that you can reach us. A great place to start is to call or email WACAP's Adoption Information Specialist, who can connect you to additional resources and information and help you sort out options and answer any of your questions about Bulgaria's adoption process or available waiting children. Whether you're ready now or simply exploring possibilities, we thank you so much for watching. And on behalf of the children we serve, thank you for spreading the word about the need for adoptive families for children in Bulgaria. Thank you.